but it's always the same. Playing with the boy. Da 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 da. He's playing with the boys. Appetizers and sunsets. Just a simple ploy playing with a boy. Ooh, very sultry playing with the boys. Beautiful version, of course, on a. Oh, wrong thing. Oh, we're going to take it real easy today. It's a Beanbag Friday, folks. Unbelievable what has been and continues to be and is happening out here. Quite frankly, I'm sitting up this week. Last week, I made history by doing a whole podcast on my back with a one eyed dog. The only All American in the history of broadcasting to ever achieve such things. Look it up. You ever do things and wonder if you're the only person in the history of time who's ever done that? Like random shit? I'm pretty sure I'm the only All American athlete who's done a sports podcast on his back with a one eyed dog. Were the ancient Aztecs doing that? I don't fucking think so. So, I mean, whether it's good or bad, who's to say? But I'm literally probably the only person who's ever done that. Hold on. Quick aside. Hold on. We got to quick aside overlay and what in the I'm going to blow this computer in the face. Overlay, please. Thank you. And we'll do the Be right back, folks. Hold on. isn't it unbelievable? You get no calls all day, and then just literally right when you're trying to do something, you get a ring. But that's okay. That's okay. A lot of these shows don't talk for minutes at a time anyway. A lot of these shows, I wish they wouldn't just talk. I wish they would just shut up and end the show instead of spitting out garbage. Anywho, back to the top. It is Friday. It's a beanbag Friday. A nice lazy Friday afternoon, folks. Early Friday. I already went to the gym. I went shopping. I got laundry. I mean, just an efficient adult male is all. Not a big deal at all. And so we're having a nice Beanbag Sports Friday, November 22nd, 2024, the year of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Hieronymus Christ, 2024. Lest we forget, I'm going to bless myself. God help me, please. God help me. Oh, God, please make this a good podcast. Oh, Lord in the sky, please make this good. Anywho, let me address this first. If you were watching me during the thing, I showed it to you. Now, this is not what I like. I just want to be clear here. I don't approve of this color normally. I asked for one cream just to smooth it out a little bit. It's an iced Americano, not a big deal at all. But I don't approve of this coloration. I asked for one cream. Clearly, that's more than one cream. It should just be a very, very light hue, almost black. So I just want to be clear. This is not what I asked for. I do not approve of this color coffee. This is mango type stuff here. So just want to be on record for that. Anyway, folks, we're coming down the home stretch of the NFL season already. Believe it or not, it is week 12 of the NFL, and there's much to discuss. Some of it important, some of it not. A lot of Jets stuff, a lot of other bullshit as I sit in my throne on a Friday. Really unbelievable what's happening out here. Let me hit my childish wubby. It's my wubby. I need it. It's gay. I'm gay. Anyway, that all rhymed. Unbelievable. But let's go around the world of sports before we get into the NFL, as we always do. Everybody's beating it to shit. It's a hack topic, but as always, I'm obligated pretty much by law to weigh in on this stuff. As the Nostradamus of national pastime, the Aristotle of athletics, and the Socrates of sport, I'm obligated to talk about the big stories. It's in my contract with YouTube and Patreon and my management company. So let's start with the Tyson Jake Paul fight. Here's the biggest thing. It was forget about the fight itself for a second. I'll touch on that. Nothing to report. I literally called exactly what was going to happen. Not a big deal at all or anything. Stance Nostradamus. Not a big deal at all. This is literally the only sports show you ever need to watch. Almost 20. I'm still almost 30 games over 500 in my NFL pick and pool, by the way, on the year. Not a big deal at all. Once again, the Netflix, I think it was the worst, and this is not, I'm not talking about the buffering, I'm not talking about the fight itself, I'm talking about the broadcast, the production of the Tyson-Paul fight and I've watched sports my whole life, played them, watched it, coached it, done it all. The worst broadcast I've ever seen. From pillar to post, from cradle to the grave, that was the worst production I have ever seen of a sporting event. The announcers all seemed to have never done it before. A lot of people were ragging on Rosie Perez and those fat fucking Milky Whites that we've all beat off to in our younger days. And White Men Can't Jump, of course, obviously made white to that. Obviously, I'm an athlete. Obviously, I beat off to Rosie Perez's fat fucking Hispanic honkers and White Men Can't Jump when they were just jubilant around. Obviously, you do that as an athlete. It's another obligation. Rosie Perez, I thought actually didn't do too bad for just being thrown in there. I mean, She didn't know what she was talking about. But the other guy she was with had no idea what they were talking about either. The main guy, I mean, they talking over each other constantly. The main guy, literally, I was laughing by the end, like laughing hysterically. The main announcer refused to shut the fuck up the whole night. Here's the thing in announcing, and again, I've been listening to sports radio, I've been watching sports, playing, coaching, you name it. I've done it in athletics. I've been to the top of the mountain, the bottom of the seas. As an announcer in sports, there is a place for the absent space. There is a place for not talking. Many times, especially in big moments, not talking is more impactful than rambling on and on. Oh, did you see that? Can you believe it? Clearly, this guy didn't go to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting like we all did. This guy, the main commentator on the Tyson Fury fight all night, couldn't shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Let the event speak for itself for a couple seconds. I'm not saying shut up for a minute or even 10 seconds, but just shut the fuck up. I mean, none of the announcers could shut the fuck up. Just talking over, like they've never done it before. I'm an idiot. I'm a blue-collar working man who does this bullshit for fun, and lo and behold, make a couple bucks off of it as I go. But it's just common sense stuff. If somebody's talking, let them finish their thought. If somebody's making a point, shut the fuck up. I mean, they couldn't stop talking over each other. And forget about what they were actually saying. I mean, talk about mongoloids. I mean, the guy. Can we talk about Tyson biting his gloves more, please? Let's talk about if Tyson bites his gloves or not. The guy couldn't let it go. Let it go. You were right. Let it go. Who cares? Actually, he bites his glove. He's been biting his glove. I'm sorry, but he's been biting his gloves his whole career. Oh, I don't think so. There must be something with the mouth. I've seen him do it his whole career, Roy. I don't know. Who gives a fuck about whose gloves he's biting? What are you talking about? God. So the announcers alone might have made it the worst broadcast. And then the production. And I haven't heard anybody else talk about this. Everybody's talking about the same bullshit. That's why on the Stansel Stradamus, I actually pay attention to what's going on. The production of the whole night. Excruciatingly long entrances. Excruciating and embarrassing graphics. I mean, okay, the entrances. Jake Paul, what did he take? I mean, and they're showing the same people in the crowd over and over and over. We get it. We know. Okay, Shaq's there. We get it. We get Cobra Kai. Ralph Macchio is there. There's a new season of Cobra Kai. And I understand, obviously, they're marketing. That's. I mean, anybody with any brain cells obviously understands that's why they're doing it. So I understand that. That's why they do it in most fights. It's marketing and promotion because they're going to be on Netflix. That's fine. But the amount of times they did it and just awkwardly, again, excruciating, awkwardly leaving cameras in these people's faces for Gronk, for Shaq, for all these people. Bizarre. And then you have these graphics. Well, first of all, Jake Paul, I mean, talk about when the night got totally ridiculous. It wasn't terrible already with the announcers and the production and all that. Jake Paul takes what felt like 20 minutes to come down the ramp in that car. It's just like literally cringe. It's like, ugh, this is like embarrassing for everybody involved. Like these guys wanted to have his brother spraying Axe behind him. Oh my God, just excruciating. The peak of dystopia almost. It was the peak of streaming and entertainment and sports entertainment dystopia right there. Then you have these again, so they show them in the locker room. They got to show them in the locker room for 5 minutes. Then they got the entrances, literally almost 5 minutes to walk down a 50-yard ramp, each of them. It seemed like Tyson tried to walk fast, although he's 60, like couldn't, as we'll get to in a minute. And then you have these graphics. They have these square graphics with words in them, and they take another, like literally 2 minutes, excruciating long. Just blast through them. Let's get to the fight. Nobody gives a fuck about any of this. just trying to do way too much and a terrible. I mean, I hope heads rolled. I mean, talk about a failure of a first foray into live broadcasting. And I understand they had a ton of people watching, but still, know that ahead of time. You build it as the biggest fight ever. Did you not expect hundreds of millions of people, or, almost 100 millions of people to tune in? Figure it out ahead. That's what I can't believe about a lot of these businesses. They set all this up, they promote it, and they don't do the simple things. They get so ahead of themselves, these dumb graphics and getting Rosie Perez in the booth, that you can't watch it for 5 seconds without it rebuffering. I mean, that's a whole other thing I'm not even going to bother with. I get it, whatever. But absolute failure. As they say in the aviation field, a catastrophic failure on multiple fronts caused the plane to crash. And that's what we had last Friday night with that fight. Just brutal, excruciating. Go off in the comments. Am I wrong? And I'll get to the comments at some point. I always do. I'm the people's champ. If you pay for it, I'll read it quicker. But while we're on that, patreon.com, Ski Mask Media, the numbers are unbelievable, Husey. I know you're watching. And thank you to our new subscribers. I just literally moments ago, just before I went live, added the Sunday stroll from last Sunday in the Patreon, which has been unlisted until now. So if you're on the Patreon, you're welcome. You just got a little Friday treat just uploaded, where I accost a diner. I talk about specific people. That's why it's only on the Patreon. You just get this show and Ski Mask Collective for free. The big ones, of course, as you should get for free, because we're not trying to nickel and dime you here. But so yeah, Patreon, $3 a month. Look at it as a once a month super chat if you ever watch the show. Even if you turn it on to tell me how much I suck, I don't care. Throw $3 on the Patreon. That's all. Or again, right below, feel free, cut out all the middlemen and send it right to my accountant. His Venmo is at DaveD23, because I can't be trusted with my own finances. So you just send it along. All right, get the business out of the way. On to the fight itself. Pretty much as I said, I told you last week, he looked slow and sluggish. And it was a promo video of him doing the pre-fight boxing. And even in that, where they try to make him look his best, he looked off balance and sluggish. Rewind the tape, pull it up from last week. I told you last week. And we knew this was going to be a patsy fight. And that's pretty much what we saw. I think it was a bit more fixed than I anticipated. And, people say fixed like it's a big deal. We're not talking fixed like they planned this all out, round for round, punch for punch. But I think there was 100% an agreement. Paul threw some punches. Even the big punches he was throwing were pulled. I think they said, let's fight for 2 rounds. Let's have a legitimate fight for 2 rounds. And then we'll go from there. Because I think they both knew Mike couldn't last a real fight for 8 rounds. No chance, as we saw. I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as saying Paul, or they had an agreement Jake Paul wouldn't knock him out. But I think there was, listen, I'm getting ahead of myself with ADHD. They had a real fight for 2 rounds. You saw very brief flashes from Mike. After 2 rounds, he was basically done. And certainly, I forget what round it was. Maybe it was a 3rd or 4th. Paul caught him with a punch or two, a decent punch or two. And you saw him stumble. And that's when, from then on, it was a pretty sad fight. From then on, once Tyson got hit with those couple punches in the middle rounds there, early middle rounds, at that point, you can't tell me Jake Paul couldn't have mauled him and knocked him out as he pleased at any point. And he said they had a few of those moments where he was throwing punches and Mike was ducking. That was definitely, again, not planned out verbatim ahead of time. But that was like clearly, that's how you spar. That was like sparring. That looked very synthetic. A couple of those back and forths that very well may have been, hey, let's do, I'm going to throw a couple, dodge him kind of thing. So I guess the point, I'm going to waste too much more time on this because the fight itself was terrible. But Paul certainly could have knocked him out at any time. After the 2nd round, there's no way you can tell me he couldn't. He could have absolutely mauled him. He could have just kept going at him. I mean, Tyson at a couple of points couldn't defend himself, and he just let him stand there. He was stumbling in a real fight, and this is the only issue I have with it, is that it wasn't really a real fight, which sucks. And I understand that. What did I expect? I didn't expect a real fight, but let's just be clear on the record as Stancil Stradamus. That was not a real fight. Jake Paul could have knocked him out at any time after the first couple rounds. All for marketing, which is fine. Again, that's what we all knew it was. If you didn't understand that's what it was, you're a Mongo. Anybody expecting like any kind of real fight is an idiot. The only slight little sliver of hope, like I talked about last week, and you saw it a couple times in the first and second rounds, in the 1% chance, Mike did catch him with one of his punches in the earlier rounds where he still had his power. That's the only thing he had to worry about. After that, Paul certainly could have knocked him out at any time. So pretty much a boring fight. Boring night. Boring fight, terrible night, that was. I mean, I can't get over how bad that production was. From announcers to graphics to everything. Oof. Totally honorless fight. No respect for boxing. That's why people think boxing is a joke, because of fights like that. That puts a bow on that. Touch on this before we get into the Jets and the rest of the NFL for the rest of the show. I'll touch on this and I'll check the comments, get in any last-minute buttholes, whatever. Did you guys? LeBron's retweet is making the rounds, and I can't help myself but to weigh in on this. I'm a Jordan baby, and LeBron is a PHAG, pronounced fag. So LeBron didn't say this, but he retweeted it with amen. Here's what he retweeted. With so much hate and negativity in the world, it confuses me why some of national sports media still think that the best way to cover sports is through negative takes. Me. We can all acknowledge that sports is the last part of society that universally brings people together. Lost. So why can't the coverage do the same? It's only clickbait when you say it. When the platform is so big, you can make the change and allow us all an escape from real-life negativity. I, for one, find it all a waste of breath. The Olympics and JJ and Bron's show was the future of what this can and should be. That was Rich Kleinman. Yeah. Oh wow! One of the a Jew in sport and entertainment. Who the heck would have thought that? I mean, so much wrong with it. The biggest thing, my biggest takeaway is the gall, the absolute gall of saying we can all acknowledge that sports is the last part of society that universally brings people together. Talk about living in a bubble or a dream world. Hey, anything else but sports. Hey, jobs. Hey, grocery store. Hey, church. Hey, your kids' sports teams. Hey, book clubs. Hey, Reddit threads. Hey, pocket. The gall and the balls and the self-righteousness to say sports is the only thing to bring all of us together. Get fucked and join the real world. What a childlike thing to say. Sports is the only thing that brings us together. Then wake the fuck up. Join the real world. Sports is fake. Sports isn't even real. And I'm on a sports show. Episode 95. 4 years into a sports show. What a joke. Talk about leave your house. This fucking sports journalist thinks he's the center of the known universe, that sports is the only thing we can all agree on. Please. And another thing, that's the whole point of sports, is to debate it. Hello, ESPN. Hello, and talk about who you work for, Rich Kleiman. Talk about anybody. The whole point of sports is to debate things that don't matter. To address the prior point, Sports isn't even real. It doesn't bring us together. Literally, this called teams. People have teams and they argue about which team, not in a real way. You shouldn't hate someone in the real world because of a team. That's also mongoloid child stuff. Ooh, like, the mongoloid Raiders fans who have to knock out people of other teams that come in their stadium. You don't like team, I don't like you. Please, but the point of sports is you pick a team, at least, unless you're fair weather like Cowboys or 49ers or Yankees fan. You pick a team and you stick with it and you have debates with other people about who they sign, how the game went. That's the point of sports. This fucking loser Jew that LeBron's retweeting talking about, this is what, we shouldn't have any negativity in sports. What are you, gay? No negativity in sports. It's the point of sports. Ugh, what a lost tweet. I, for one, find out, and he uses the Olympics as what it should be. The Olympics were terrible. Olympics were a joke. Oh, my God. And then, LeBron tweets it with amen. Yeah, LeBron, who drafted his son has no business being in the league. You look at the numbers, Husey. Look at LeBron, Bron. I mean, what a joke to retweet that. This fucking guy. Meanwhile, wasn't LeBron just making points about China and Hong Kong and shit last year? This fucking guy talking about no negativity. Oh, we all come together. Get fucked. Just another reason LeBron is a fucking hack. He's a 6'7" athletic freak, and I'm not taking that from him as far as on the court, a great player, but he'll never be a great because of his dumb fucking low IQ Cleveland mind. Rack me. Anyway, I had to get that out of the way. All right, folks, it's all football from here on out. Let's see. God, I've been on a real roll of making people hate me lately. I absolutely love it. I've been putting on an absolute clinic on Twitter, on podcasts. Oh, because all these pussies just won't say what they mean, or everybody in the comedy and podcast world is sucking this person's dick or worrying about saying that. Even the big shows that you think aren't cringe, don't bend the knee. Just listen to what they're actually saying, and they're all the same cucks. But I'm free to do it because I don't need or want a future in this. I do this for fun. That's the difference between me and all these people. You can't cancel somebody. Cancel me. Good. If I never do a podcast again, good. Good. I don't care. Nothing changes for me. I'll just talk. This will just be connected to nothing. That's the difference between me and these people. This can be connected to nothing. If you're listening to the audio later, if I ever finally get a new computer, I'll upload it. Or if Ski Mask can get on a fucking computer for once and upload the audio. But I'm holding up a wire for just listening to the audio. This could be connected to nothing, and I'll still be saying the same things. There just won't be a camera in my face. That's the difference between me and these people. So I don't give a fuck. And that's why I'm free to say whatever I want. And that's why they call me Stancil-Stradamus, because I could say things other people can't fucking say. I mean, oh my God, just look at it. Do I look like these other fucking fat losers? Anyway, Lady, talk about getting in shape. Lady KB, I see you on your Instagram hitting it hard. Ooh, looking good, Lady KB. She's in the fit life, getting ready for May 29th in Red Rocks. Absolutely. Maybe this year will be the year me and KB touch butts. You have any AC/DC? You have any Ray DeVito clip? Yes. You know what, AC/DC? Forget everything I just said. I'm going to do a 4-hour show, and I'm going to get some kind of produce with a fake head, and I am just going to talk about Ray DeVito and Shuli and Stuttering John for 4 hours a day, 6 days or 7 days a week sometimes, and that's what I'm going to do. Listen, if you don't, I know I play an idiot online because it's fun, but if you don't think I know how I could make this bigger, you're an idiot. I know how to I could be talking about the same shit these other people are talking about and getting all those other mongoloid. I mean, if you want to give him credit, give him credit. I say it's just a sad sign of the times. I forgot, I was doing something on YouTube yesterday morning and I saw there was an orange and a potato talking about the same shit. So I clicked it just to be like I talk. Obviously, I bury them all the time because as they deserve. So I clicked it, and it's a guy with an orange on his head and a potato, and there's 530 people watching. Ugh. Is that's not a sign of the dystopia we're living in of this podcast area, then that's all you need to know. So my point is I know I could do the same shit. I could go on these shows if I wanted to. I could have these people. Do you notice I haven't had any guests on this show in a while besides some special guests here and there? It's because they just get in the way because I actually have shit to say. I don't need clips. I don't need whatever. I don't need any of this. I just need somebody has to be the soothsayer, the Nostradamus, the Sanstradamus out here because everybody else is just so full of shit. So yeah, I can go on all these shows. I can kowtow. I can bend the knee back to Brennan and probably get on MLC this week if I wanted to. I can go on Levy's show. I have doors I can open at any point. But I'm a real ass nigga, and I didn't say the R, and that's why I am who I am. Cowards. And anyway. Yeah, ACDC, thank you for getting my rant. Tyson's KB is all riled up on a Friday. Throw your sweaty yoga pants in my head. Tyson's ass is my goal. Boys, caked up. Okay, let me tell you, as somebody who's hung out with Lady KB in person a few times, I don't want to get too graphic. And I don't want to get myself too aroused, but Lady KB's got some back cake and some front cake, if you know what I mean. Don't be too hard on yourself, Lady KB. Just because we're all too much cowards when we come out there to try to touch you. Actually, David Carpenter really put us all in a body bag, but that's Isaac Walmart. Sands 5. I don't know if this is a joke of when I took the phone call for 5 minutes at the top of the show, but thanks either way. McLean running out of time. What do you got? Cold C's a good egg. I have no idea. I don't know what that means, though. Oh, I'm sorry. Big Doggy Thunder. Big Doggy Thunder, who made me do very strange things on the Steve Garrett and Steve show, which we had again, leave your house. I was in studio right there in Offside Tavern, Avenue A, yesterday for 2 hours with Garrett and Steve, putting on a clinic. I ate, and thank you to ATR or AYR. Whoever, somebody sent me $100 to eat, what's it called? Somebody that watched the show put in the chat, a boitin egg. It was one of those eggs where the fetus inside was like mostly grown. Anyway, it was totally disgusting. I ate one shell and all. I'll do anything for money. If anybody wants me to do anything for money, just give me the heads up. If you Venmo me, I'll do whatever you want. You want to see it? I'll show you my balls. I've shown my balls on this channel before. You think I care? For the right price, I'll do anything. This is just a vessel. This is all just a vessel. This is all just means to an end. This is just bones. This is just nothing. Betting picks for the Vegas F1 race, please. Well, this is going to make Doggy Thunder never send me money again. I don't like racing. Now, listen, if you grew up Doggy Thunder, you in the U.S., if for some reason you grew up watching F1, good for you. But just like pickleball and this other racing that everybody's gotten into all of a sudden over the last couple years, pass. I've never cared for cars going around in circles. I don't care for the F1 cars driving around cities. I can drive a car too. I'm not impressed. So, but you should see the shape these drivers are in. Here's why I can't get over racing. Watch this. Here's why I never care about racing. Here's what the athletes do for hours. In a vacuum, that's what the athletes in racing do. So, sorry, Doggy Thunder. I probably just alienated yet another viewer as I do every week. Don't take it personal, Doggy Thunder. Everybody that watches this show, basically, at some point or other, I've tried to make every single person who's watched this program hate me. Boxing fucking sucks now. Thank you. Husey, I touched on the numbers at the top. If you're late, you gotta go back. But the numbers are unbelievable. I'm hearing talk about numbers in the inside scoop. Well, like I said, I don't know if you missed it. The Patreon is absolutely popping off. Thank you to the new people. Something just went up there. My kayak numbers, this is a sports show. My kayak numbers are through the roof. Another 7 miles booked on a November day. Almost the only person out there, miles off the coast. Backing up my point, AZD, LeBron is the biggest divider of race and politics and sports history. That Shine is a hypocrite. Well said, even with the racial slur. Well said. Husey is spelled Nigel. I assume that's a fellow British man. KB love, as we all know, KB loves. I mean, you should have heard her just throwing the N bombs around out there in Colorado. Beautiful thing. KB is Lady KB. Are you drinking already? What is going on out there? Are you and David Carpenter knocking knees? Da 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 da. Kelly P is mad at me. Maybe I'll call her when I make the pick. She's all riled up. Da da da. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. What about kayaks doing that? Oh, kayaks don't. Kayaks do plenty. Have you seen these? You kidding me? Let me see a Formula One guy take a kayak 10 miles off the coast in 15-mile-an-hour knot winds. 15-mile-an-hour knot. What a retard I am. All right. I may have lost track of stuff. As always, if you need it read 100%, super chat it. Otherwise, send stuff. The bottom stuff is better. I don't care. We don't beg for money here. That's for these other pathetic shows. And who? Let's get to the football, folks. And if you missed the top of the show, I disavow this color coffee. They put in too much, but I have to drink it anyway. Lord Huron Lonesome Dreams poster, of course, above the original 1972 Marantz Klipsch speakers. Every week I have to address that. It's a Beanbag Friday here at Ski Mask Media. By the way, programming note, we should have a new flagship show, Ski Mask Collective. I believe Sunday is what we're shooting for. Sunday. Keep an eye out. As we all know, if you follow along, Ski Mask is back in the workforce. No more food stamps. So, my days are easier to do it. He works normal hours now, so his days are. So anyway, blah blah blah. Who gives a fuck? The point is, we're not going anywhere, and we have big announcements to make on this coming Ski Mask Collective. If you watch Garrett and Steve, I gave you one of them. There's a teaser yesterday, but other than that, you're gonna have to watch a show for that. Huge news for Husey, huge numbers too. Really love it. And the thing about our numbers is they're not synthetic, like I said before, because we're not just. I mean, all these shows, there's like 6 shows that just live off of the backs of other shows. I mean, I understand. Oh, but this is an MLC wrap-up show. Your whole thing is that you're in the MLC. Well, have you watched this show? Just like this is a sports show. Is this show about sports, really? Is SMC about, well, certainly not for a while. I mean, we'll touch on them. Anyway, my point is, I don't know what my point is. I'm retarded. So let's just talk about the football. Let's talk about the Jets quickly. The Jets, fully over. What a debacle last week. Another classic Jets game, losing to the Colts. Just an embarrassment. I mean, again, we can't get too mad about the Jets. We know the season was over. Now it's officially over with this. I mean, officially over. Let's just get rid of that game real quick, because that was just you can't be understated how it's debacle after debacle with the Jets. Sauce Gardner apparently just read everything that people said positive about him last year and just figured he doesn't have to play anymore. Sauce Gardner has turned into a totally average at best cornerback. I have no idea what has happened to Sauce Gardner. That's the only thing I think it could be, is that he read too many articles saying he's good, and he just figured he was good, because he sure as shit isn't good this year. Sauce Gardner has disappeared, blown people wide open in the backfield. Not even forget about a playmaker. He's almost a detriment in the backfield now. Shame on him. Yeah, he's not just not playing well, he's playing bad. And all year, I was trying to give him a break, but week after week, time after time, Sauce Gardner failing. Be better. I know he watches. And speaking of the defense, they scored 27 points. I mean, the Jets scoring 27 points, and if you know the Jets, is a big deal. And they still lost. They still couldn't win with what we thought was a great defense. It turned out to be similar to Sauce Gardner. This great defense, and I touted them too. I'm guilty. I'm a man. I tell the truth. Not only not a great defense, but almost a bad defense. They continue to give up huge plays in the big spots. They'll play great. They'll bring pressure. And then they break like, I don't know, break like a dick inside of a bouncing ass, I guess, is the first thing I could think of. They just fall apart when the going gets tough or whenever they need a stop. It's the opposite of what you want. Make the plays when you need them. I don't give a shit about plays with 13 minutes in the first quarter. But again, why waste so much time and energy? So the big news this week, because let's just talk about the future of the Jets here, because no point talking about this season. The only thing I'll say about this, they're 3-7 now. This is when things could get ugly in that locker room. So keep an eye out for disenchantment. This coach is not coming back. God bless him. He's a good defensive coordinator. Another terrible head coach. So he certainly won't be the head coach next year. We fired GM Joe Douglas. Classic Jets of too little too late. I mean, if you follow along with the show, I literally touched on this when we talked about Reddick. We touched on this when we talked about signing Davante Adams. It's always 2 minutes, 2 steps too late. They had Joe Douglas, the GM, reconstruct this whole roster around Aaron Rodgers, and then he's gone before the end of the year. Just classic Jets. Let's just talk on Rodgers quickly and move on. Because, again, it's just nothing. I'm getting sick talking about the Jets this long myself. But I have to do it. I have to do it. I just can't fucking not do it. I have to fucking do it. But let me just get on record here. I've seen a lot of Mongo Bongos talking about it. Rodgers not coming back. Obviously, you have to be a total mongoloid to not understand why Rodgers should come back next year. I know he hasn't played great, but actually, look, he has 17 touchdowns and I believe 7 interceptions. Those are better numbers than Mahomes. Those are better numbers than like Burrow. He's in the top third of the league in his quarterback numbers. Look at it. I don't have the numbers because I don't give a fuck. I'm not a nerd, so I don't have numbers handy other than what I just said. But look at Rodgers' number from this year. Despite the bad plays and the record, he has top of the league, top 10 quarterback numbers. So you have to be a total mongoloid not to want a Hall of Famer back again. I'm not saying he was who he was when he was with the Packers, but look at the field. Look who's out there. Absolutely, Rodgers should be back another year. Absolutely, the Jets need to, which I know is like, you might as well ask to meet Santa Claus, the real Santa Claus or something, but to what I'm going to say. But the Jets have to find a future quarterback, which I can barely say that sentence with a straight face because of how many times they failed about drafting, trading for, signing, getting a future young quarterback. But you have to do it. Rodgers is coming back next year. He said he wants back. There's absolutely no reason not to have him back. Look at the talent that was out there. The problem was the coaching and the preparation. Rodgers is coming back. Sign a young quarterback that you believe in. Doesn't even have to be a rookie. Maybe we have good scouts and know some of these younger guys that are on the bench on these other teams. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. Sign whoever you want. Draft him, sign him, whatever. A young quarterback. Have him play behind Rodgers for a year. That's the best thing we could do for the future. Meanwhile, Rodgers, hopefully, because we do have talent on this roster, we get a whole new coaching staff in here that can actually coach. I would love, off on a tangent, I would love Rex Ryan back here. Everybody's saying, "Oh, he was so boisterous. He got a yeah." And you know what? The players fucking loved Rex Ryan, and that's what we never had all year here for the last few years. Get me Rex Ryan back. What do we got to lose? I don't care. Rex Ryan is great for New York. He's not scared of the spotlight. Players love him. He's a player's coach. He's boisterous. He takes the heat away from all the other players in the press room. I would love to see Rex Ryan back here. I don't think they'll ever do it, although there's a chance they might because Woody and the Johnsons, they love being in the limelight. So maybe they will, and that guy's, I would love to see Rex Ryan back. But let Aaron Rodgers obviously play another year with this talent and a coaching staff that's actually semi-competent because we have nothing but totally incompetent staffs here the last few years. Let him play another season with the great talent we do have. They just need direction and play calling and coaching. Have our young quarterback on the bench behind maybe one of the best quarterback to ever play the game, debatable, but you can somebody who's actually in conversation, certainly a Hall of Famer. Have him play a year behind Aaron Rodgers at least and see what happens. What's the worst that happens? Oh, what? We don't make the playoffs again? We don't give a fuck. And as far as Jets fans, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Nothing happens anyway. We had Aaron Rodgers in an all-star roster, and we still couldn't. We have 3 wins, 4 wins. What have you got to lose? As Donald Trump said in 2020, my African American friends, what have you got to lose? And that's what I can say. My Jets fellow fans, what have we got to lose? And that's the state of the Jets going into next year. Aaron Rodgers back, new quarterback, playing behind him on the bench for a year, learning the tricks of the trade, whole new coaching staff. I would love Rex Ryan. It makes sense, but these guys are Mongos. They won't do that. Anybody. But that is the broad strokes plan for the Jets. Speaking of broad strokes, I would love that broad KB to give me a few strokes. Is she still in the chat? Feel free to diddle away at this lady, KB. Here you go. That's for you. Da 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 ra da 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 ra da 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 ra da da. Yeah, nothing. No, nothing interesting in the chat. Sorry to say, folks. Yeah, do better. Well, we'll check back in. Maybe you'll do better next time. Let's go around the league a bit more here, folks. Let me have some of this Mongo coffee that they put too much cream in. And let me touch my wubby. I got a plan. I'm going to start chewing gum again. I got a few packs of gum. Vapes are gay. Good for a little zip when you need them, but I'm a man. I have willpower. I can stop. It's just why. I haven't even bought one in months. They just keep on falling into my hands through various women and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna start chewing. I'm gonna make gum great again. It's gonna be unbelievable. MGGA. Let's see what's on the docket besides the fucking Jets. Let's do this. Now that we're getting down the home stretch here, folks. First time doing this. Let's take a look. Let's go around the scores from last week real quick. Because I know I had a few points to make. Fun game last night. We love a snow game here in New England. Snow on the roofs this morning here in Connecticut. Unbelievable what's happening out here. I love to see it. Let's see. From last week, the Eagles had a big statement win, as you'll see in my rankings. Oh, boy. Jim Stansel's power rankings are all shook up this week. I know that's why everybody tunes in. You'll have to wait and see that before we do the picks for this week. The Lions absolutely rolling. I told you they would beat. I think I told you the Lions would beat the Jags by 1,000 points. They only beat them by almost 50, so I was wrong. Steelers Ravens. I called it. What else is new? Stansos Ramos, as always. Ravens Steelers AFC North games always close, always low scoring. I told you to bang the under. If you did, you won. If you didn't listen to me, you're a fucking idiot. Seahawks with a big win over the 49ers. And I think the 49ers, folks, this is not their year. And you almost get the feeling the window for the 49ers in their Super Bowl run has closed. Barring a big run here at the end of the year. And even then, you just don't, you're not seeing what you saw. And I understand McCaffrey just came back, but it just doesn't seem to be there. I was never big on Purdy for years. If you watch the show, you know I haven't backed down on that. Broncos continue to roll. Jesus, last week. Beat the Falcons by 32. The Bills and Chiefs games didn't disappoint. I know the Bills ended up winning by 9, but a competitive game the whole way. You're gonna want to stick around for the power rankings. People are gonna be very surprised at what happens out here. Chargers, and I'm gonna talk about the Chargers a little bit when I get to their game, but Chargers with another win over the Bengals, another win. They won 34-27 over the Bengals last week. Don't be surprised, and I know we all hate Geno. I say that jokingly, but don't be surprised if the Chargers make some noise in the playoffs, and I don't say that lightly. Harbaugh coaching is a real thing. Just look at the Steelers and Tomlin, what they're able to achieve with talent. And Texans blew out the Cowboys, which I told you they would. Stansos Stradamus. What else is new? Yeah, a fun game last night. George Pickens is just a mental case, huh? Just one of those, I guess. We'll leave it at that. So let's take a look at the standings. Let's take a look at the NFL standings. No producer, no show prep. This is it. Alrighty, let's go around the league. In the AFC, the Bills, nothing to report in the AFC East. That division is over. Bills at 9-2. Nobody else has more than 4 wins. Chiefs, interestingly enough, with 4 or 5 games to play here. Chiefs are 9-7 in the AFC West. The Chargers, folks, are 7-3. The Chargers are only 2 games back. Pay attention to that. Broncos 6-5, not going to win that division, but certainly making way for the wild card. After last night and last week, the Steelers and the AFC, the first place AFC North Steelers at 8-3, the second place Ravens at 7-4. Very interesting, folks. I love that. I love those two teams. Hard nose, what football's all about teams. Texans running away with the AFC South as we expected. Although they haven't looked that great. I know they blew out the Cowboys, but that's not saying much. Cowboys can't get out of their own way. But the Texans lost a bit of that steam they had rolling earlier in the year. NFC East is the one to pay attention to in the NFC. Eagles 8-2, Commanders 7-4. Eagles with a big statement win last week, so they pretty much had that division in hand with the tiebreakers. But in the win column, Commanders are only a game back, not impossible. NFC West is a disgusting division of teams that will never go anywhere, but it is all up for grabs. Cardinals 6-4, Rams 5-5, Seahawks 5-5, Niners 5-5. So everybody's within a game in the NFC West, but none of those teams, and I include the Niners, I just don't see it anymore. I don't think any of those teams will make any noise in the playoffs. Of any of those teams, the team that scares me the most there is the LA Rams, I'll be honest. They got weapons. They have a seasoned quarterback, seasoned like brown snake's eggs with all that pepper, folks. Lions 9-1 and rolling. The Vikings are 8-2. Packers 7-3. Bears, who gives a fuck? Even though the Vikings are a game back of the Lions, the eye test, you just know the Lions are head, shoulders, knees and toes above the Vikings as far as on the field. Anything can happen on a NFL Sunday, obviously. So technically, Vikings only a game back of the Lions with a few to play. And then another division of teams going absolutely nowhere, but close. You got the 6-5 Falcons, the 4-6 Bucks and the 4-7 Saints. Who really gives a fuck about that division? So that's going. We went around the league. And now for everybody's favorite segment is when I announce the college football scores from last week. Because we all know, say with me, folks, college football sucks. Yes, that's right. For mongoloids and alcoholics, there's no reason to watch college football. A terrible product. You ready for the scores from last? And again, as always, I have not looked at these. I'm going to read these live with you, fine folks. Here are the college scores from last week. Colorado 49, Utah 24, Ohio State 31, Northwestern 7. College football sucks. Tulane 35, Navy 0. Alabama 52, Mercer 7. College football sucks. Illinois 38, Michigan State 16. College football sucks. Notre Dame 35, Virginia 14. No point in watching these games. Penn State 49, Purdue 10. Boise State 42. San Jose State University 21. Sure, Georgia 31, Tennessee 17. You don't have this many blowouts in an NFL season that you get in half of a week of college football. College football sucks. Texas A&M 38, New Mexico State, I guess, 3. Iowa State 34, Cincinnati 17. This is all in 1 week of college football. Terrible product. UNLV 41, San Diego State 20. Imagine caring about college football if you didn't go to one of these schools. Wake up and spread the word. I don't just say this to you folks. Everything I say, feel free to pretend it's your own and go out in the world and tell people what you heard here today, because it's all truth. In the world of fakes and phonies, as Holden Caulfield and Catcher in the Rye would say, as an English major myself, Holden Caulfield, the character of Catcher in the Rye, would always call everybody fakes and phonies. Well, I'm basically Holden Caulfield with all these fucking fakes and phonies. Somebody's got to tell the fucking truth. Anywho, let's take a look at the power rankings. Big shakeup. Bigly shape up. And people are not going to be happy with my number one team here, folks. But it is what it is. And listen, when I make these rankings, I don't get caught up like ESPN and all these other news outlets does in what's hot. I watch the games, watch the highlights, and get a feel for the wholeness of the team, for on the field, to the talent on the roster, to the chemistry, to the coaching, to the locker room. These are your top 5 teams going into week 12 of the NFL. Big shakeup this week. Eagles fall all the way down to 5, even with their win against the Commanders, because some teams have moved up. Ravens fall to 4. And I know that's a surprise. You know, the Ravens have been holding steady at 2 all year. Ravens down at 4, but I had to move them down to 4 because the Bills beat them last week. Or no, the Bills beat the Chiefs last week. And with that, they move up to 3. At number 2, for the first time this year, but credit where credit's due, they've proven it to me. They've proven it to old Jim. They are who they are. Best offense in the league by a lot. Best team in the NFC by a lot. The Detroit Lions at 2. And I know they lost last week, but at number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are defending Super Bowl champs. Like I said, I look at the year and the team as a whole. The Chiefs still are the best team in the NFL, pound for pound. And that includes what they've done in the past and what they can do in the future. The Chiefs have to still be number 1, even after that loss last week. Again, we're not children. It's not, the Bills have to be above the Chiefs because the Bills beat them. No, the season isn't 1 week, okay? The Chiefs were the only undefeated team in the league going into last week. They had a hard-fought game with probably the second-best team in the NFC and the Bills. The toss-up between the Bills and the Ravens. In the AFC. Doesn't mean it's automatically that team gets ranked above the other team. No, that's not how rankings work. So the Chiefs remain at 1. Huge controversy. Go wild on Reddit and subreddit and all whatever loser shit you people do. It's unbelievable. Talk about my power rankings. That's it. Going into week 12, Eagles at 5, Ravens at 4, Bills at 3, Lions at 2, Chiefs at 1. That's the truth. Rack me. Folks, you know what time it is. Well, you don't know what time it is just yet, because the music isn't playing, but you know what's coming. Quickly before we get to what we know we're going to get to, let's just see. Unbelievable, beautiful. There we go. There's that. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. That's the other thing about this wonderful show. We never. Oh, I don't want to play that. That is not it. I never look at who else is live. I never worry about what. I do it when I want to do it. Same thing as I was saying before with bending the knee to these other shows. If all it mattered was, all I cared about was viewers and money, I would be doing the show at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or 7 in the morning before. I do this shit when I want to do it. All as Husey in the numbers. All of our views come later in the day, at night, in the evening. We're a blue collar family here. We never fall below 3-figure views anymore. They used to be. I remember when we started getting pumped up when we got over 10 total views on these. Now we're in the hundreds, usually closer to 300 or 500 on these. So we're doing very well for what we do. We do no promotion. We tell everybody who could help us to fuck off because we're real motherfuckers here, and we still succeed. And that's how I know week in and week out this is a quality product, because we're not sheep. Anywho, I'm so right. It's unbelievable. Everybody else is gay. Then that's just true. I'm trying to pull the matchups with the spread, because I'm sick of using DraftKings because they don't show you the records and all that shit. Why is this so hard? No reason for this to be so hard. Da 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 ra pa pa. I'm doing shows live in New York City, and there's oranges talking for 500 views. So that's all you need to know about how much views or money means. An orange and a potato, fake people talking about other people who don't matter at 500 views, and that's just a state of dystopia. And that's why, if you haven't noticed, we're removing ourselves completely, alienating. We're basically starting from scratch as of a couple months ago, because we're leaving. We have exited that world because it's just such lazy slop. Anywho, here we go. Matchups with the spread. Jamie, play the fucking music. And by Jamie, I mean, hey, anything. Hey, CBS. Hey, any site. Hey, any site. Why is this so hard? NFL matchups, spread week 12. What the fuck? Why is this so hard? Jesus Christ. Here we go, I guess. And this doesn't have their records. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. I'm onto the second page on Google. This is why, fuck Google. Fuck these fucking all special. That's all owned by Soros. All these other fucking sheep. Why is this so hard? NFL Week 12 with spread. NFL Week 12 with spread. Why is it so fucking hard? With spread. Am I in the Twilight Zone? Why is this so fucking hard? Good. This is why nobody uses Google anymore. This is why everything is on Twitter. Because this is fucking terrible. And this doesn't have the records of the teams. I want the records of the teams with the spread. Okay, so if anybody out there wants to make millions of dollars, all you got to do is make a simple website that has the spreads with the teams and the records next to it, and that's it. Because apparently nobody on Google has it. So anyway, okay, guess what? I'm using DraftKings. Thanks, Google. Using DraftKings again. We just don't have the team's record. Who cares? I got sorry for thinking it would be the simplest thing in the world. Just have the team's record. Jesus fucking Christ. Good. And that's why nobody uses legacy media anymore. Good. Anyway, play the music. Play it. Just fucking play it. Let's get this over with. An hour and 10. Way too long. We're going to blast through these because I already went around the league. Detroit Lions at the Colts. Colts are getting 7.5. Not enough. Lions minus 7.5. Chiefs at the Panthers. Panthers getting 10.5. Not nearly enough. Chiefs minus 10.5. Buccaneers at the Giants. Tommy Cutlett starting. Giants are getting +6 at home. They're gonna give me the Giants +6. Tampa Bay wins. Giants cover Rackman. Titans at the Texans. Texans -8 at home. Not nearly enough. Texans -8. Dolphins at the Patriots at the Dolphins. Dolphins -7.5. Give me the Patriots plus the touchdown and a hook. Don't be surprised Patriots win. Dolphins probably wins with Dolphins win. Patriots cover. Cowboys at the Commanders. Commanders -10.5. Once again, not enough. Commanders -10.5 at home. Vikings at the Bears. Vikings need this game. Give me the Vikings -3.5. Although I took the Bears in the straight-up pool. Give me the Vikings -3.5. Give me the Bears to win, Vikings to cover. Vikings to win, Bears to cover. Broncos continue to roll. Raiders fucking suck, and the fans are talking about mongoloids. Raiders are getting 6 at home. Broncos have high hopes of a playoff run. Give me the Broncos -6. 49ers failing as the Packers also are leveling off. Give me the Niners -3.5 at Lambeau. I don't care. Fetal alcohol syndrome. Kyler Murray leading a surging Cardinals against the Seahawks with a big win last week. This is actually an interesting game here, folks. I think this is your nationally televised game. It'll either be this or the Niners and Packers. As sexy on paper as the Niners and Packers looks, Cardinals and the Seahawks is actually the more interesting game. Cardinals are on a bit of a run here, looking for playoff hopes. Seahawks the same with that big win last week. It's a pick 'em. Seahawks are -1 at home. I hate picking the Cardinals. I just got a feeling. Give me the Cardinals +1 out there in Seattle. Your Sunday night game is the Eagles at the Rams. As you heard me say, the Rams are the one NFC team I think they're an interesting team with talent. Eagles have been rolling. Rams are getting 2.5 at home. Look for the Rams with a bit of an upset here. Give me the Rams +2.5. Sunday Night Football, putting themselves on the map for the final push here. And Monday night, we got a great one. I know ESPN can't stop showing Harbaugh and the Harbaughs and blowing each other. I'm sure their dad will be at the stadium. They won't be able to get their dad off the screen on Monday night. Jim and John Harbaugh going at it. The Ravens at the Chargers. Chargers +2.5. Chargers best defense in the league. Ravens a bit of a step back last week. Are the Ravens who we thought they were? Are they not? Big game here Monday night. Sneaky big game here Monday night. Chargers win. They are cemented as a playoff team and a threat. The Chargers can beat the Ravens. Ravens win. They're back on track against a great defense. Ravens lose. Is Lamar Jackson is this not their year once again? Do they not have what it takes? Are they running out of gas like many other teams have done? So fun game Monday night. I think, and I love Lamar. I don't think people understand how good the Chargers defense is. I think the Ravens run game is lackluster this year, and I think that's been overlooked as to why they haven't had the success as good as they've been. Give me the Chargers +2.5 at home. Jim or John, I don't really give a fuck. I don't know which one is which. But the Chargers Harbaugh, first year in the league, making a statement against his bro. But I think this will be a great game. Harbaughs are both great coaches. A lot on the lines that just laid out as no one else can do for both these teams. We did it again. I did it again. God, thank you all, whoever watched live. We don't usually get many live. All of you hundreds and hundreds of folks who were watching this later, God bless you. Patreon.com, Ski Mask Media. $3. Look at it as a $3 a month super chat. And I just uploaded some shit before. If you tuned in late, or if you're watching later, you already know. Literally, my Sunday stroll from last week, which has been dark on YouTube, just uploaded on the page for a mere $3. You get everything and multiple shit from the week before. Ski Mask rant, Ski Mask having seizures, all kinds of shit on the Patreon. But don't even watch it. Just give us $3 and don't look at it. Yeah, do that in lieu of super chats, or cut out all the middlemen and send it to my account at DaveD23, and he gets some money to me. We did it again. I did it again. An hour and 12. What a week. Folks, huge week of football next week, starting Wednesday through Sunday, folks, because the NFL are money grubbing, you know what's, and Roger Goodell can't not make money. And as we get to the rest of the year, you know how it goes. We start seeing these Friday games pop up around Christmas. But this coming week, folks, we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday football. We have and Monday. So we have Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We have 5 out of 7 days next week have football, folks. What do I always say? A huge week. So you might want to do it today or tomorrow. Break your wife's arm so she'll be or maybe give her a concussion of some sort. Maybe some sort of skull injury. A well-placed fishing line at the top of the stairs, may I suggest. My point is you want to make sure your wife isn't around. Get her out of the way. Send the kids to a foster home. You've done enough for them. They're ungrateful. Send them to a foster home, even if it's for a week. Just send them away. You got to make yourself free. 5 out of 7 days of football, folks. Send your mother, send that bitch to the nursing home. It's way overdue. It's annoying to care for her. Send her to a nursing home. Send her to hospice. Let a Haitian woman beat her brains in. But you have to have these days off. 5 out of 7 days next week. We have NFL football. Don't even look at college football. You're never allowed to watch a show. I'll find out who you are if you watch this shitty product that's college football. I'll come to your house and I will I'll break your television and break your face. But that's the point. The point is I want you folks to enjoy the football. 5 out of 7 days that next week. Unbelievable. So we'll see when we do a show. Could be a Wednesday sports mask. Maybe a Saturday. We'll see. Yeah, let's see. One last look here in the chatty watty. Oh, my dear friend, the 9-foot-tall beloved. Haven't seen him in a while because I don't watch MLC anymore. I don't know if he's still active over there. Quantity over quality. You got it backwards, but you're close. It's quality over quantity. Yeah. Numbers are gay. Money is gay. Whoa, Julio, his old pal Julio. Grandpa Brennan always sucked. Julio called it from the beginning. Last. Hey, he's on the board. He's not wrong. Ever since the secret shows in Me's backyard, way before most of these people even knew who Kevin Brennan was, Julio always said old man Brennan sucked. So maybe he was right. Yeah, good take here, beloved. Giants gonna DeVito themselves out of a good draft pick again, like they did with Daniels last year. Yeah, I could see that. That'd be a classic Jets thing to happen to the Giants, where they win a few games down the stretch and fuck themselves. Yeah, that's a classic Giants thing. Oh, Saint Ranger in at the buzzer, my dear friend. Saint Ranger, I'm glad you're here. I used your blanket the other day. I think it was Monday, the beautiful weather we had here in New England. I went to the park around the corner and I had the afternoon free. I laid that blanket down. I smoked a J in a big field overlooking the city. Unbelievable. All on your plaid blanket, St. Ranger. Thank you. Matt Mead loves gears. That sounds like I was on a show called John Glazer Loves Gear. Go find that, you fucking doxers. Julio is back in the chat. That was a nice little transition from blind rage to calm analysis because Jim couldn't find the NFL schedule with their records and the spreads. Quality. Yeah, that's why you tune in. It's like I tweeted out the other day. Anybody can be funny on a stage. It's a formula. Stand-up comedy is a formula. That's not taken away from anybody that's good at it, but it is a formula. I've always said from day one, stand-up comedy is closer to theater as it is to comedy. And there's way too many comics that are not funny at all on podcasts. And for me, that is the not lithium test. What is it? Whatever. I'm retarded, and that's kind of my point. I want the mind of a comic, not the mind of somebody who was bored and didn't want a real job. So, oh, maybe I'll do stand-up. And the board, like all these fucking people, Casey Rocket, Jordan Jensen, Ari Maddie, like all these people now are making these, like they all are, yeah, great. They're great on stage and they stink on podcasts. My point is, this is my actual brain. Now, yes, I'm doing Jim Stansel, who's a character, but this is the entertainment you just don't get with Sheep. And forget about all these other sheep whose whole show is just analyzing other shows. That is the bottom of the barrel. So you're welcome for that wonderful moment, Julio. Amazing things happening outside of our homes. Thank you, beloved chatter. He's a member, so I'll read it. Feel free to join, by the way, folks. We do have some stuff that's members only. Saint Ranger, the tale. I was born on Thanksgiving Day. But this year, my birthday is not on the Thursday. Fun fact. Litmus test. There he is, producer. I need him back as a producer. Maybe down the stretch here, I can get Julio to produce on Fridays. Why do I have an Uncle Scrooge cap all of a sudden? I don't know. Anyway, like I said, if you have a wife, kill her or maim her seriously. If you have a mother or family, put them in hospice. If you have kids, send them to foster home. We got football. Well, let's look at it. We got, what's today? Today's Friday. No football. So let's starting Sunday. We got football in 8 days. We got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday's dark, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Starting Sunday, we have football, NFL football, not this college trash. We have football, NFL football, 6 out of 8 days starting Sunday, folks. Like I say at the beginning of the year, they said what seems a mere few weeks ago, it's the quickest season in sport is the NFL. Enjoy it while it's here. We're coming up on some of the great weeks of the NFL where you have football 4 to 5 days a week down the stretch here with the holidays. Big matchups, big time, big Jim Stansel signing off. Bring home the votes and count the troops. For love of God, goodbye.